This is the Superpowered Mind podcast for inquiring individuals who are tired of the struggle for peace, happiness, and clarity. I'm Claire Diamond, ready to help you explore the principles of the mind, the self, and reality to unlock ultimate mental freedom. This podcast is the one to listen to if you're ready to experience the capabilities of the superpowered mind. Hello, welcome to episode 36. And this month, we're looking in the membership at problem solving. One of the most difficult elements of a problem can be regret, can be this thought, if only I'd done something differently when I had the chance, if only I hadn't done that thing, or if only I had done that thing, then this problem either wouldn't be here right now or it would be different. So regret is a really powerful concept, a powerful state of mind for us to look at in everything related to freeing up the full power of the human mind. So first of all, what is regret? It's basically the idea that at a certain moment in time, at a given point, I should have done something different, and that would have changed everything about the past from that point on, the present moment that is being experienced right now, and the future. And this is the idea that I should have made a different decision. I should have behaved in a different way. I should have said something when I didn't, perhaps. I should have taken a different path, and then things would be different. So what regret does is it, first of all, locks in this idea of a doer, an independent decider that is the chooser, it is the entity making choices, and it's the idea that it can make different decisions. And really we could literally just stop there when it comes to regret and see how crazy that whole idea of regret is, because it's a state of mind that is saying, I could have made a different choice. When there isn't a chooser, there is no independent chooser, there are choices happening, and those choices are always optimal for whatever belief system is in sort of operational dominance in that moment. So the choice comes from the subconscious, and the choice is always the best choice given the reality that is being experienced in that moment. There's no other way. That's how all decisions are made. And so this regretful stance that I have right now in this moment that says, oh, if only I'd made that choice, it's a complete red herring. It's a total waste of time. It's keeping in place, really, a total misunderstanding of where decisions are made and how choices come about. But what it does do in this moment, it has so many benefits for an insecure identity, which is why I think regret is such a prevalent emotion, really. It has such a dominance over the mind. Not only does it fix in place this idea of I'm the decider, I'm the doer, I make independent decisions, and I could have chosen differently. It fixes that in place. Then it fixes in place the past. So everything that's happened from that moment, looked at from this present moment now, is playing out through the lens of that regret. So it's saying the past is from the moment that decision or that action was taken, everything's happened. The past is in that particular way because of that decision. So that past is fixed in place. It says, this is the past. This is how it played out, that decision. And it fixes in place this present moment, because attention looks out through this lens of belief. And it says everything about this current problem that I'm facing, this current difficulty or issue, obstacle, is real and true and objectively how it appears. And it's because of that decision. And then the same attention looks out into the future through the lens of regret and says, because of that action or decision, this is what the future is going to be like. So past, present, and future, and identity and sense of being, all fixed in place. No question. This is how it all is. This is real. This is true. And it's all because of that thing that I did or didn't do. And the benefit for the identity of all of this is it's because the identity is a psychological construct, it is boosted. It's fixed in place psychologically. It becomes more believable, more solid, more real, more existing, really. This is what I am. This is what my world is. This is what my future is. This is what my past is. This is me. So there's an egoic benefit of temporary security at the heart of regret, which is further boosted by this totally legitimized now sense of hopelessness and helplessness, which is the childlike state, which is the state really which gave rise to the insecure identity. As the mind was forming this sense of what I am, in this confusion from the chaos surrounding the child, the idea of self was being formed, and it was formed as a sense of helplessness, a childlike state. I'm at the mercy of these adults around me, and that's what I am. And that sense of being small, of being not in control, is really what the insecure identity is. And this state of regret keeps that sense of hopelessness and helplessness in place in such a legitimate way. Because here I am faced with this problem, and the mind is saying this problem is real as it appears, and it's because of that decision, that action back then. And because of that, I'm now helpless in the face of this issue, in this obstacle. It's really legitimate, and there's nothing I can do because I can't go back in the past and change that decision. And because I can't do that, then there's no way, it looks like, to address this problem. I'm in a total stalemate. And even though that stalemate might feel awful, the benefit really for the identity is that it remains in this sort of helpless space where no action can be taken, nothing is risked really by being vulnerable in the face of this problem. When the mind takes its identity from the problem, so that association between me and this issue, this hopeless, helpless issue, there's such a robust protection. There's nothing I can do about it. This is me. This is what I am, this issue. And through that, the identified mind gains some sense of being, some feeling of existence. So regret is a lock-in. It makes everything unsolvable. It keeps the mind in this space of helplessness, hopelessness, self-blame, protection. And not only that, but it is in this yearning space, really. It's locked into this current reality. And at the same time, it doesn't have to be present to that current reality because it's in this yearning space of what could have been. This incredible imagination that these human minds have is now imagining, oh, if I hadn't done that, then this would have happened, then that would have happened, and then that, and then I might have met someone different, and I might have done this, and I might have done that, and then this present day would be completely different, and then my future would be like this. And this remote possible is circling around, creating constant dissatisfaction, constant resistance to the present moment, because if only I hadn't done or said that, if only I had done or said that, then this remote possible would be my reality. So this what could have been is like a guarantee of resistance to present moment. And we all know through everything we look at that resistance to present moment is really what keeps the ego in place. It survives from that restless pushing away of what's happening or seeking of something else, when genuinely in present moment, the ego dissolves, it disappears. So the question we have now then is, how is this state of regret useful for actual problem solving? So that's what we're looking at. We're interested in anything that is helping to liberate the mind, to bring it more and more deeply into reality, and to bring clear, sane resources, attention, focus onto actual problems, because that's where the mind flourishes. It's where our unique gifts come into their fullest potential. And what's the role of regret in that? Well, the first thing we can look at is the thing that I'm saying in this moment now that I regret doing or not doing in the past. What is the equivalent of that right now? And oh my God, that's a hard question to answer. That's really confronting, because it's so safe to hang out in that space of, oh, if only I'd gone to college. Oh, if only I'd spoken up in that meeting. Or if only I'd told him or her I love them. Or if only I hadn't wasted my money on XYZ. Or if only I'd taken care of my health better. You know, it's so safe to say these things with zero pressure to do them, because we're just talking about the past, aren't we? That's all in the past, and there's no way back. It's like the most rock solid state of wishing imaginable. But what we're going to do is say, all right, I wish I'd taken better care of my health in the past. What is the equivalent right now? And it might be that maybe 30 years have gone past, but it doesn't matter. What is the equivalent of that regret? How is it playing out in current moment, in everyday life right now? I might wish that I'd gone to college or paid more attention at school. What's the equivalent of that right now? I wish I had been more honest in my relationships. I wish I'd had higher standards. What's the equivalent right now of that? It's so confronting, but completely liberating, because it forces the mind into the here and now. It can't hang out anymore in that sort of egoic ivory tower. It's forced into accountability in the here and now. And that is so, so powerful for it to really look at that. And the mind might come in with saying, oh, well, you know, it's too late. Things have changed. What was possible then isn't possible now. It doesn't matter. Given all the constraints as they are right now, what is the equivalent? And what that means now is that the whole of the rest of our life, whenever regret comes up, two questions can come to our minds now. What is the direct equivalent of that thing from the past playing out right now? What is it? Let's really see it really clearly. And secondly, what do I want? Which is, as anyone who listens to this podcast knows, is our breakthrough question of bringing the mind into the here and now, very authentic, very true, very honest. What is wanted right now? And those two questions are forcing the mind to be real and accountable and present to real-time current information and current desire. And it means that now, just like stress, as we've seen in other podcasts, regret becomes a means through which the mind is liberated, literally. It exits its fixed play out of past, present, future. This is how it all is. It exits that remote possible of what could have been. And instead it brings it into the here and now, so that even if we're 98 and on our deathbed, the mind can be sane. It can be in the here and now, seeing what our equivalent is right now and saying, what do we want right now? And that's all the mind wants. That's all it needs is to be operating from congruency and truth, alignment with what is actually going on in real time. And through that portal, all of the resources, the capacities, the skills, the ability that previously were either made inaccessible or were being diverted into a ruminated illusion, an obsessive space of insanity of mind, really, in which it's whirring around how things should have been, resisting current moment. Now all of those resources are liberated to deal with the problem that is currently here right now, the issue that is currently here right now, which will look so different when it's not viewed through the lens of the insanity that regret really locks the mind into. So regret, a huge asset in problem solving when it's understood for what it is. When it's not, it's a lock-in. It's a lock-in to the identity. It's a lock-in to the problem as it's appearing. Creates a real feeling of stuck hopelessness. But when it's understood, it liberates the mind and off it goes. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Lots of love. Bye. Thank you for listening to Superpowered Mind with me, Claire Diamond. If you want extra support in the exploration of your mind, download our exclusive subliminal recording, especially for podcast listeners, on bit.ly/podcast subliminal.